Oh, hey, I look all pretty now. Mark Donegan, self-healing practitioner, educator, August 22nd. Woo! I'm well over 100 days on my video challenge. It's just that on YouTube, it's officially 100 days as I started doing YouTube videos. But I was doing them before on Facebook, and I couldn't find. Well, I mean, I could go back and find them, but I don't want to take time anyways. In my own brain, I'm done. I've well done over 100 days of videos. Um, what they were supposed to be about, I was never directed. Uh, and I am a self-healing practitioner and educator, and that was really what I wanted to get out was my work. And I got out a lot of stuff. I got out some movement stuff, a lot of movement videos, quality of the videos, whatever, production quality and content both. Uh, Production was terrible. Content was, I felt like I got about 50% of what I wanted out properly. There was too many ums, ahs, and dead spaces, and the videos just really aren't as watchable as they should be. So I'm going to work on that in the future. But I'm all right perky this morning. I don't know why, because I didn't have a good market and had a hard day, and it's been a rough week. But things are what they are. So I want to do like a summary because it's come up already just in the short time I've been awake this morning. Um, One of my prime thoughts that I haven't gotten out there yet around self healing and working out and how you take care of your body, the simple, basic stuff, so forgotten. Um, Motivational speakers, David Goggins, pushing himself the way he does. I've spoken on that it's okay for some people. It's not for most. It's not a good way. Most people have enough muscle mass. They need to learn how to relax. And I was thinking about, like, if you were some of the yogis that I know that don't do any David Goggins kind of thing, um, that's not really correct either. Basics have always been the basics of physical training, of uh, calisthenics. You're taught in school as a child. The basics are always the basics. You need your aerobics. You don't need too much, David. You don't push past your pain all the time, or you break yourself, David. And for the yogis, you have to do your work. You have to go out and be aerobic. You can't sit on your butt all day doing breathing and meditation and expect to reach people like David. You hear what I'm saying? There's two different worlds. Neither one is correct. Moderation in all things. Not only moderation, finding you in all things. I have trained under every kind of teacher that you're going to ever find out there. And there was a reason, because I needed to find my pieces. I always knew I was out finding my pieces. I'm still out finding my pieces. Go find your pieces. Life is a never-ending struggle of finding your pieces. A couple of years back, and many times during my path, people have challenged me and said, "You're living your life as your broken parts." Well, they never saw the full realm of me, man. I was always working towards my next broken part. Um, and that's a malfunction that I've looked at, and I'm addressing. I believe I've addressed. I hope that I've addressed. I don't want to get broken again. But there's also mental aspects to your physical body. Again, if you're a person that's going out believing you can just drive through everything, you're going to hit your wall someday. You're a human being. And, again, pick your path. Why is a yogi so happy? Because he's not out hurting himself. And there's many other reasons, the mindfulness, the meditation, the compassion for other human beings, life and living, And if there's anything I've learned personally from this, from myself, it's about that compassion of being out there with other people. It wasn't even that I was lonely and I wanted people to talk to tell my problems to. No, it was I and you have a mission, and you have stuff inside you that once it's gone out of you is to the right places, to the right people. That word, the energy, that work, the love, the work, the physical work, the day-to-day tasking that you do on yourself to self-heal so that you can go and be productive for your friends and your family and take care of them, even if it's just for me to get up and feed my little kitties out there. That's a goal worthy of working towards. And I never realized it until lately. Until again, things came down to the basics. What was really basic to my life had nothing to do with money. It had everything to do about living in life. And now, giving back. It's not even giving back. It's more getting out. And as the market has progressed, my learning is progressing on my own now. It's very strange not having a mentor. So in my life, for first time in my life, I will not claim any mentors. There's no one left. There's no one left for me to turn to. Absolutely no one. I got a whole stack of some of the best doctors probably in the world, and if they can't figure it, not gonna find. I've been under every kind of teacher, yogi, master, mentor I could find. I mean, I didn't like travel the world, but I did, electronically travel the world, and whenever possible, yeah, I freaking traveled there. It was like my pilgrimage to Alma many years ago. I don't remember how long ago. It was about a decade or more because I couldn't walk there. I could walk. It's just I was on a walker for a while. So it was before that when I went there, and I remember I hitchhiked. I hitchhiked out of the Bay Area out to San Ramon to an ashram, and it was totally freaky. But that's the kind of things that I've done to go find my pieces. And you get a indication when you need to be listening to a particular person's methods. And again, don't fall for that person, and don't be a stalker or get into that person. Just take their stuff and leave. Just take their stuff and leave. If there's anything else I got to say about that, because I'm watching Arnis. I got to be careful with my words because there's legalities involved here. If I get in any trouble, but I'm watching these these stick videos of Arnis, which is a aerobic art, and I'm developing what I'm going to call stick yoga. I'm going to claim that name as mine, and I'm going to develop patterns and routines, which I'll put on these videos. Again, I have to be very careful of legalities of all this stuff, and now I'm watching these videos, I understand why. They've been teaching this stuff for a long time in martial arts in different ways around the world, and we all do it different. Everybody has their own styles, and I'm watching their styles compared to my style, and I haven't found anybody with anything like my style yet. And I'm going to keep looking because somebody's done it the way I'm doing it, and I have a particular way of doing my stick yoga, as I will call it, because theirs are all, except not all of them, but most of them, they use them for combat, and I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna put my focus to fighting or combat. It's all gonna be about the yoga part, but at the same time, it crosses over because part of my training with my stick yoga is with actual striking, which I got in sort of a little trouble for this week. So that's why I'm saying there's legal stuff involved here. So when I get challenged on the street, my stick is a yoga stick. But at the same time, if I want to hit something with it, I can hit things in very unique ways. And again, ways I have not seen anybody do. And nobody's ever, I don't know if anybody's ever seen, no, they probably haven't, because that's probably why I get harassed a lot. Yeah, it's interesting. So, yeah, sort of done with my videos. This is a summary. I did Topotment videos on how you tap your body. I started out with that because that was so important. Then I did a bunch of sort of movement videos where I did different types of stretching. I showed how to use the tennis balls, how to adjust the spine. I talked about the periphery and the core, starting from one or the other, making sure you cover both every day, um, using your time wisely every day. I talked about that. If you've got 5 minutes, use it in a complete way. Start out slowly, finish out hard. I've talked about the 20-minute time limit for your heart. You need 20 minutes to be aerobic to get your heart to the right level. You need to go beyond that for endurance. 20 minutes is a minimum. Um, your movement sessions, same thing. If you only got 5 minutes, take 5 minutes. But if you've got, they should be 20 minimal. Hour is better. Shoot for your hours because that's how you want to work. You want to have evolutions to your day, 1 or 2 hour evolutions where you go out, you're aerobic, and you have endurance going, and you can go for 60 minutes to 2 hours. Don't ask me where I'm drawing these numbers from. Just take them if you like them because they work. They absolutely work. And some of them do come from Bud's SEAL training that I drew from my older brother. I have read the Bud's manual, day-to-day manual, what they do in training. I never went through the stuff because I read the manual what they do, and I said, no, thank you, sir. But they have a reasoning in that, and they're called evolutions. The more evolutions you get in every day, the stronger you become. It's that simple. That's David Goggins stuff, and that is physiological facts, and that's where he's a genius. The guy's doctor level, and if you do the research on David Goggins, by the way, I'm pretty certain that he has high level medical training. I mean, schooling. I shouldn't say training. Yeah, and training, but schooling, high level. I mean, almost doctor stuff. And most of those people do. And so that's part of my background. That I was learning that stuff before I was 20 years old. As a teenager, I was learning anatomy and physiology on how to hurt people. And so by the time I was broken and I was 30, and I had to turn around and learn how to help people, it was just like automatic and easy because older brother had been teaching me that stuff since I could remember. Well, since I was turned a teenager. Well, 15 years old, I started learning. Well, no, I started learning how to do the hard stuff at 15, the martial arts stuff, because that's when he started getting the official training and teaching it to me. But before that, it was just dad and the basics. And again, the basics have not changed since dad was doing it. Um, the evolutions, the 20 minutes, the stretching before you go work out, none of this stuff has changed in like freaking eternity. So that's self-healing in a nutshell. Uh, Moderation. You've already got your strength. Think about relaxation and getting rid of your anxiety, taking the stress of injuries, the stress of life that's built up in your body out, and think of how you would be. You would be strong. Then you could go out and run for miles and not have to push through pain because you wouldn't have pain. You'd be all nice and loose. And if you had the proper mind thinking while you're running, instead of yelling at yourself, you'd be saying, hey, loosen up down there, loosen up down there. How you talk to yourself is very important. I just want to leave that. And yeah, I curse at myself at times, but that's part of the process, I believe, is if you have that angst, you need to get it out, but understand processing, move on, come to change that place, give it what it needs, and have it say, I'm well now, thank you, move on, got other places. Uh, that hit me yesterday with myself, because not be able to continue this work ever, not today, not tomorrow, or any other day, unless I have this foundation completely solid. Because I've been off this foundation before. I will come off this foundation again. None of us are Superman. I will fall. I will fail. And I will step right back up the next day, the next moment. The next moment. I'm not going to wait for the next day. I've already had times this week where I was knocked completely the frick down. And it wasn't automatic. Well, it was automatic. I just stayed with it and kept breathing with it and accepting it. As soon as I accepted, my mind did automatically say, okay, let it go, let it do its thing, move on. And step past. Yeah, so don't get hung up your stuff. Just breathe to it, then move past, find something new so that you can get out your power. Your power is trapped, just like an energy. And yeah, just let it out however it wants to come out. And nature, get out in nature by yourself. Is that part is not about people. It has to come out between you and nature first. You inside yourself. And then when you get around people, that calmness of nature comes through you to them. That's the processing. You give it to you, it comes through you to them. Like everything I did to prep for my event yesterday, even though I had a traumatic week, was a resetting to put out. So that's it for my summary of a self-healing practitioner and educator. 100 days in the life of. And boy, did we go through some shit. My father passed away. I had cervical surgery. Uh, I've had a couple other fairly major procedures on my spine. Um, oh my gosh. I did many trips to San Francisco trying to make business work and drop that, turn around and making business work here in Ukiah. Um, and oh my gosh. And I'm walking like twice as far as I was when I started, just in 100 days, 100 days, just a little over 3 months. Not twice as far, but I've added a couple miles onto what I'm capable of in a day. And I definitely have added a few miles onto my weekly walking total, which is, something that I'm learning to watch is a core strength factor. The people's ability not to just walk, because I can't walk real good, but the ability to people to stay on their feet, because I don't have that ability either. And that ability is even harder, I've noticed. So, not harder, it's just time difference. You can only walk for so long, but then standing on your feet just creates so much pain for even somebody with no spinal problems. Then, if you have spinal or pain problems, it's just increasing. So, it's just an interesting thing I've noticed. Uh, about core strength and walking and standing. They're all very, very correlated, and so you need to watch one to know the other. Having spent so many years in a bed and in a chair, I know these things. You watch those things. I used to chart those things. How long I was, stuck in my chair, and then how much PT time I had out of my chair, how much time I was up, bathing myself, this and that. All those things I used to chart because when you're stuck in a chair, you count every minute that you're able to not be putting pressure on your body by just sitting, which is what's happening when you sit. And happening to me right now, so I need to move later.